In this episode, we sit down with Kaya King and Jennifer Underwood, the Chief of Staff and the Administrator of the Office of Community Services at the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. The New Jersey DCA is a government agency that provides various services and programs to support community development.
I know that, even hearing both of your journeys, I think what compels me to it is that there isn't a straight line to any of this, right?
That's
And
right.
I think that it's a beautiful opportunity, and I know I had a bit of bumps and roads to find my spot, which is DCA, but it's funny that I think we're all similarly situated of feeling like, well, how did I blend maybe what was my inherent passion or what I knew was going to bring me joy, right, in this life with something that was work, so that it sustains you, it motivates you.
So can I jump in there,
Sure.
Kaya, and ask you to talk a little bit about that? What exactly does a chief of staff to a commissioner do? What a question, right?
Great question.
And what have you done professionally that has then allowed you to get to the position that you're in now?
Sure. So I've been in the chief of staff role coming up to about 10 months. And what I would say is you do have to be able to, I think you're not a novice at one particular thing, but you need to be engaged in a little bit of everything and have a sentiment. I look at it sometimes that if it's coming all the way up to the top, right, and my role is to really support the department and the commissioner and us carrying out the mission and purpose of the department. So I think sometimes it feels like I may be in a bit of a currency of issues, right? We walk into the day and typically if it's coming upstairs to us, there's an issue. What I love about the work is that you develop a bit of a social intelligence. What's so exciting, I think, working at community affairs is that, it's about the programs, but I think more importantly, it's about the relationships we create. Commissioner Suarez and I think, have really staked our career and work on how are we collaborating, how are we sharing, and how are we also, I think, humbling ourselves to learn. And I think that there's a great opportunity when you do this work and you're able to be in the room where decisions are being made to really get perspective that you wouldn't get otherwise. I can tell you, my professional journey started, I think a bit similar to Jen's, right? Of just really wanting to come from a place where my parents had made a lot of sacrifices. They helped me get through college and law school. And when I got out of law school, we were kind of told of just a couple paradigms, right? You could, work for a big corporate law firm, right, and be a slave to billable hours. Yes. You could, be a defense attorney and, earn no money. Or you could be a prosecutor, right, and law and order your way through things. And I remember thinking, I don't like any of these. It's like, I don't know how any of this, maybe is helping in that day to day. And so I did a bit of a zigzag path. I think I had worked in private briefly, and then I started working at the county level. I worked for Monmouth County. I worked for their local board of social services, which I loved because you're helping families.
Sure.
You're helping to assist and really make sure that folks were getting Medicaid, right? We're getting support. And that really incentivized me to figure out, okay, how are other ways that you can help people? How can you help families? And then I had an opportunity to tip up into state government, and did a couple stints, right? Stopped at a couple different spots, worked for Comptroller's Office, Department of Labor. But when I came to DCA, that I think was really where I found a home in terms of the colleagues and the work, right? Because you had people of different professions, different expertises who were coming in and saying, okay, we're going to take all this intellectual and experience bandwidth and say, let's share with each other. Let's work on things collaboratively. And more significantly, let's figure out how we can make it better. So I think the philosophy of the workforce we have, of even the commissioner we have right now, and even predecessors, I think it's a similar mental space. You got to want to help and really love it.
Well, that's really interesting. And we were privileged, a month, 2 months ago to have Commissioner Suarez come and visit us here in Patterson. And I got the same exact feeling about her, this overwhelming desire to use the office that she holds to help people, a real genuine sense of that. And I hope that she got a view of Paterson that helps her to understand that this is a wonderful city, a historic city, right? Founded by Alexander Hamilton back in 1792, but also a city that's fallen on hard times, a city of great people, hardworking people, but people who oftentimes need a hand to get to that next level. And looking at you and the commissioner and Jen, I think we're just so fortunate to have professionals who are committing their lives to helping to extend that hand to people, whether here in Paterson or elsewhere, who really need some assistance. And we thank you for that.